Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back again with another cryptocurrency video. Today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. What can we expect next as far as the price is concerned? And what is the general sentiment that I'm feeling here with cryptos as well? So let's first take a look at the overview of the crypto market right now. We're seeing a lot of green. And I believe this is because investors are seeking some safety, surprisingly, some might say, in cryptos, right? Bitcoin being one of the best ones for that due to its kind of gold standard in the cryptocurrency space, and also it's similar to goals being sort of a digitalized version of that, is seeing some increase due to exactly what I just mentioned. So that's something that I talked about on my Twitter as well. Make sure to go follow me there. I've been very active, posting a lot of what I think is valuable information. And I mentioned last night while I was looking at the Bitcoin price that I wasn't expecting this, but it just started looking like money is beginning to flow into crypto, especially Bitcoin, as traditional markets and economies near collapse due to what's going on. We might see the beginning of Bitcoin as a safe haven in real time. And I mentioned that I had just bought $4,000 worth of Bitcoin at around $6,290 or so. And that Bitcoin just broke above 6,300. So I literally called that a full hour before. And I said that that was a pretty big sign because earlier in that day, yesterday night, it looked like Bitcoin was going to start falling into the lower $5,000, somewhere maybe near $5,500. And all of a sudden, we flipped back upside and we started moving higher pretty strongly. So what that tells me is that the price action is very bullish. And that's why I mentioned in my next tweet that price action is the best indicator, period. Now, for those who might not understand what price action fully is or what exactly it's referring to, price action is basically, put in simple terms, how the price is acting in the sense of, is it strong momentum? Is it weak momentum? Typically, if you see a stock or an asset like Bitcoin that is falling and isn't able to hold any of its gains, right? It might bounce a percent or two, but it just keeps falling lower. That's sign of very weak price action. If you're seeing price action where it's bouncing whenever it's dropping just a little bit, that tends to be strong price action. Buyers are really supporting the asset. And that's what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin. So I basically called the whole move in live, and we actually saw it go even higher now. Like I said here, my favorite assets in times like these, Bitcoin, number one. Followed by bonds, gold, and silver, but Bitcoin was number one because that list is in order, and I think that Bitcoin is the ideal assets in time like this due to, for one, its liquidity, the fact that it's separated from the traditional markets to a certain extent, and its sort of gold equivalent makes a lot of valuable, I think, compelling reasonings for me to want to hold Bitcoin in a time like this. Now, stocks also did fairly well today, but I like the crypto price action that I was seeing. And right now, I would actually feel safer owning a lot of cryptos than stocks. Now, I am holding both. I have a lot of relatively secure assets in stocks, but Bitcoin is my number one favorite holding right now. Above any cryptocurrency and above most assets, Bitcoin is my favorite holding for this type of situation, and it's my biggest crypto holding right now. Like I said, I just bought more yesterday. So I wanted to go over the chart as well to give you an idea of what we're seeing right now. What situation are we in? Because this gives us a better, bigger term view of what we can expect. So like I've been saying multiple times in my previous videos, we are right now in a symmetrical triangle pattern between this bigger term downtrend line and uptrend line. So in a pattern like this, the price is expected to kind of bounce up and down and eventually reach the end of the pattern, at which point it breaks either higher or lower. And that would be in, sort of April 2021 that we would see that happen. So that's a bit of a far way out. But could things happen earlier? Yes, that possibility is absolutely there for us to move higher or lower earlier, although it stays somewhat unlikely for now, at least based on what we're seeing. But I did think there was some interesting things on the chart that I wanted to update you all on. So for one, we're now seeing Bitcoin back above the white middle Bollinger Band line, which is a very common support and bounce level and stabilization level. So we had this smaller symmetrical triangle right here that we broke below, and now we're bouncing right back up against that downtrend line. So that's not to say that we're going to get out of this downtrend line. We could actually fall lower and retest our uptrend line, our $5,000 support area. And who knows, could we break below that? It's definitely possible. If that happens, we would likely fall down to $3,000. But there's also a fairly strong chance that we would bounce if we hit that, especially if it's only the second time that we're testing that $5,000 support level. So it's hard to tell right now exactly what's going to happen. But we also saw a bit of a bearish sign with the RSI losing the uptrend line support. I'm not too worried about that, to be honest, because the most important thing right now, I'll go ahead and remove these trend lines for just a second just to clear up the chart here. And you're going to see a pretty key sign that I think is really important to point out, which is the Bollinger Bands and how they will most likely shape very soon here. So if we go ahead and remove these trend lines, I'm going to draw out what the Bollinger Bands are expected to do. Let's take a similar color to the Bollinger Band lines here. So I'm literally going to draw out what the Bollinger Bands should do in a situation like this. And the idea is that we're going to enter some consolidation, not only because of the pattern that we're in, the symmetrical triangle pattern, but also just because of the tightening of the Bollinger Bands. So when the Bollinger Bands start to contract and tighten, this tends to flatten out the Bollinger Bands and the price along with it, because we know that price usually tends to stay within the Bollinger Bands. So what we're going to see is the Bollinger Bands tighten up like this and then stay kind of flat in a very tight range, right? So we might see some up and down movement in that, but the idea is that we're going to stay in a relatively tight range. This might be a little bit, extremely tight, what I just drew, but the idea is, flattening like this, where we're going to be in a relatively tight range, probably more or less around where we are at right now exactly, so around $6,500. Could we see more stabilization near $7,000? Yes, we could. Could we even see stabilization near $7,500? Yes, we could. But right now, based on what we're seeing, unless we get a huge spike towards the upside or downside, we're probably going to remain pretty flat in the 6,500 area. But I would pay very close attention to this price action, because if we do break below our downtrend line here, which we have one of these, that is this downtrend line right here, and then let me change the color so it doesn't get confusing here. Let's pick red. And we have our second downtrend line, which is the one we're paying more attention to in the shorter term, which is this one right here. And as you can see, we're literally testing this, almost breaking above it right now as we speak. Now, we could reach the top of this Bollinger Band and then slow down, right? So that's not to say that we're just going to go all the way back up to $10,000 right away or anything like that. But if we break above this downtrend line, we're going to get a little bit higher in this range that I was talking about. And if we, by any chance, for whatever reason, maybe a bunch of money pouring in due to investors flocking to Bitcoin, if we break above this secondary downtrend line, that would probably lead to a pretty significant move higher, above $7,500. So that could definitely start pushing us more towards $8,000, $9,000, and even $10,000 pretty easily. So I would pay very close attention to both of these downtrend lines, and also, kind of expect to stay within the symmetrical triangle pattern for the most part, and even what's the most likely is just staying in this Bollinger Band range that I sort of sketched out here. But keep in mind that the overall estimate is consolidation with a potential possibility here, I think, of a surprising amount of investors coming into Bitcoin and other cryptos as well, but Bitcoin, obviously, due to sort of the safe haven perspective, I think that we might see that money start to flow in. That's what the price action looked like. So if that's indication of anything, which, like what I said on my Twitter, I think that it's a very strong indication. And I'm going to actually make a video more about price action and what I look for in investments, both stocks and cryptos, because price action and general price history has a lot to do with it. So I'm looking forward to bringing that video to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to keep you updated on stocks, cryptos, gold, silver, all the asset classes that you can think of. I want to keep you all updated, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, link in the description, and check out my technical analysis master course, The Ultimate Guide to Technical Analysis. It's less than $20, and you can try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. We got great reviews, 4.4 out of 5 stars, and we have over 42 students now enrolled in the course. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Make sure to give this video a like, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.